What's up, guys? Synthetic Division here. So we're back to the next bulk axe that's having a problem. It looks like bulk axe 3 is 73 degrees Celsius, and bulk axe 5 is 70, and bulk axe 1 is 71. Bulk axe 2 is 68. So I think we're going to go after bulk axe 3, this guy right here, at 73 degrees C. If we can see it right here, got a kind of a glare going on. That's our next guy. So let's go ahead and get it pasted, heat sinked, and we're going to use aluminum heat sinks on this one. So I'll get it unplugged, get it on the stand, and I'll set you guys up there. Okay, guys, so here we are. Let's get the heat sinks put on this one. We're going to be doing aluminum this time. I have this fancy green one. It's just in the kit. So I'm like, you know what, let's use that one. This is a kit I'm using for it. It's a pretty good variety kit. It's got a lot of everything in it, so we'll use that kit. We're going to do 4 heat sinks. So we're going to do one on the back, one on the inductor coil, one on the voltage regulator, and that's the one we're going to use for the front. So I'm actually going to pull this apart because I want to take this off. I'm going to be doing new thermal paste anyway. So what I like to do with these, and again, I'm blind, so I'm going to have to get a close look at it. So don't mind me. Put my glasses right there for a minute. So you just pop this forward, and then I like to just pinch it a little bit and let it push through. And then the same thing with these ones. You're going to push it up and just pinch it a little bit and try to let it push through as much as you can. If you can, like that's perfect. Now, if you push them too hard all the way through without getting the cooler off first, they'll actually launch out of there, out of the cooler too. So we'll just kind of figure that out. That's the last one. So we're just going to kind of pinch it and push it through. That. And push that up just a touch. This pair, these work really good for this. So, and then we'll just kind of push them like that with our fingernail. And then pop that off. Okay, so we got the board off. Man, bad thermal paste application on this one too. So push these and make sure they're through so they don't launch. Like this one flew off, but I caught it. So just push them through, make sure they're good. And we're gonna clean up that thermal. I mean, that's really dry. Look, if you just run your nail over it a little, it's so dry, so dry. We'll get some stuff to clean that off, and then we'll apply the heat sinks. Give me one moment. Okay, so I like to use these little makeup pads my wife has. I steal them from her all the time. So this is just 99% alcohol. I picked this up at a dollar store. It's actually kind of nice. You can just push on it and put some alcohol in there. So we'll clean up the board like this. And I do a little twisty deal. And we'll just try to get that stuff loose. That's so dry. No wonder these things are getting kind of warm. That dislodged a little bit right there. And then I'll fold this over like that and just kind of work it nice and slow, guys. You don't have to get too aggressive with it. And then just make sure it dries. So for the heatsink, I actually like to use this. This is from the iFixit toolkit. But these heat sinks, like, this stuff is so dry that this will work really good. So I just take it on there, use this side like the knife side, and just scrape it off like that. So it's gone. And then I'll use the pad to collect it so that I don't get it everywhere. If it's fresher thermal paste, you're going to make a mess with it if you do that. So, and then we'll just clean that off. Nothing too crazy there, guys. That's really all it takes. So we'll let that dry. In the meantime, let's switch over and let's get the heat sinks put on. So let's do the front one. Again, we're going to put it right here on the front. And it looks like there might be some flux on there on this board. If you can see that shiny spot there, looks like some flux. So I wonder if I can clean that flux off with some alcohol. I don't know if it's going to work. We might try to see. Try to clean that. That's just Shows you that they didn't really take the time to clean the PCB after they got done putting it together. Yeah, I think we got it. We're going a little bit better. So we'll set that aside. We'll get the, I haven't used one of these green ones yet, but I'm like, you know what? They're just going to hang out in there, and I'm just going to let them, they're just going to go to waste if I don't use them, so I might as well use them. So look at that. From there. And then once again, I take my glasses off so I can see what I'm doing. And we're going to just put that, I have to bump that right about there. Yeah, that's a good spot. So we'll push down on there. That green one on there. And we're looking at the board at the back. So they're all using the same voltage regulator, which is the TI 457, I believe, which is actually only rated to 90C in its specs. So just be warned. So we're gonna put one there, and then one on the inductor coil, and then one on the back. So let's go ahead and get the little guy put on first. This one's always the fun one. It's a little bit bigger than the copper heatsink one, but it's yeah, it's a little bit bigger. So when you're putting this one on, I like to put it kind of offset like that. Again, keep it spaced away from the parts, and then just press on it. You can pinch it like this if you can see through the top there. You can pinch it with the other one to help pressure it on. And then we'll take this one, and again, because we're going into the bit track rack, we need to make sure that it's pushed up slightly. So we'll go into the bit track rack when it gets here. I'm waiting for it. I just ordered it just the other day, but he said it shouldn't be too long before I get it. So okay, so let's get this one, and we're gonna line it up just like that. Again, keep it flush with that one side, and we'll push it down. Okay, get that one, and then we're gonna put one on the back of the ASIC as well. So again, this is just for testing. I don't know if the ASIC one works. Maybe what I should do is see if it actually works. But there we go. Press on that. Don't push too hard on the ASIC chip, you know. You don't want to mess anything up. And I think we're in good shape. We got here, 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 and here with the green one. That green one's kind of a cool color. I actually kind of like that. And then we'll put thermal paste on and put the cooler back on. And I'm going to pause it for that because that part's kind of a pain. Maybe we just go for it. You guys can watch me suffer while I'm trying to do this. Yeah, you know what? Let's just go for it. Put my glasses back on because I'm blind as a bat. And I think we've been using, you know what? Let's try this. I've got some Thermal Grizzly Kryonaut. Let's see if that does the trick. That stuff's expensive, but you know what? I got some of this right here. This is what I use on my desktop PC, so let's give it a shot. It's expensive stuff, but I think it'll work great. So take that. And again, you just want a pea-size amount, guys. So you don't need nothing crazy. Like a little tiny dab. Not that much is perfect. We'll take the little spudger that comes with it, and we're actually just gonna get this stuff off the side up here, put up on top. So, okay, so there we go. Now, remember, keep your fan lined up correctly, and we'll take the cooler, and we'll just get those pins kind of lined up like that, and then you're gonna push. I always just push one through first, and this is where it gets challenging because you don't want it to be continue moving around, but you need to push one on. And then I like to go opposite sides because then it's held on, and then you can just finish it off pretty easily. You know what I mean? Kind of like when you're installing your CPU coolers, you always bolted it on cross, stuff like that. So we're set back up. We're looking good. Let's get our fan connected. 4-pin fan right there. I think we're in good shape. I'm just double checking, making sure nothing's touching, no issues in the components there. I think we're looking really good. And let's get it back on the stand. Again, I'm just going to run you guys through it with me. I was just going to pause the video, but you guys can suffer with me on this one. So we'll a screw in, get the screwdriver, just get it started. And I like to do the same thing. I like to put them on the opposite corners or corner to corner. That way it's aligned really well. Go dropping screws. Okay. Okay. Bring it across here. Same thing. If you can twist them in a little bit, that's okay. I'm gonna put that one in there. We'll go get that one first because that's the one that's gonna fall out first. I have a feeling. And don't run it till it stops, guys. You can crack boards. It's not hard to crack a PCB. I like to just get them to where they're about there. You know, don't just push it until it strips the screw out. Or don't use impact either. I could see something bad happening with impact. Okay, so there we go. We got plenty of clearance around here. We've got our heat sinks on front. We've got fresh thermal paste. Let's pause the video. Let's go set it up, and we'll get back with the thermals. All right, guys, so here we are. We did about a 10-minute burn-in, actually a little bit longer than that. 50.4 Celsius on the ASIC, 57 on the voltage regulator. This one has the aluminum heat sinks on it now, and also the Thermal Grizzly cooling or thermal paste. Looking pretty impressive. Numbers wise, yeah, looking really good. So for reference, this was the Bitaxe 4, and if you remember right, 54.1 on the Celsius on the ASIC, 63 on the voltage regulator. Now, one thing I did change on both of them, if we go into settings, I set the minimum fan speed to 40%, okay? And I do that with all my Bitaxes, and if we look over here, I did the same thing here. See there? They're all sitting at default for now. I won't actually overclock them until I have a second fan hooked to them, because it doesn't make any sense for me to do that, because they just get hot. And again, this particular Bitaxe has the TI 547 from Texas Instruments as far as the voltage regulator, which is only good till 90C. So the last thing I want to do is push them to their thermal limits. Now, when I overclock, I only go about 1.24 to 1.3 terahash. There's really no point going higher than that. I guess for fun, I probably will at some point. But I want my advertised speed, and that's really it. So, but yeah, there you go, guys. The aluminum heatsink one. We'll keep monitoring them over the time. I will go in and change the names of them just to, Bitaxe 3 aluminum, Bitaxe 4 copper, just so I can remember in my head what they're doing. So anyways, guys, there you go. Another instructional video for you. I know these are probably boring, but I think it's good to know and a good way to learn. So anyways, like and subscribe, comment. Any questions, comments, concerns, hit me up. You can visit me over at the Jellyfish Discord, where we're all sorts of cool stuff going on. We've got the virtual mining game that Brandon Coin is building. We also have poker nights on Wednesdays. Check it out, guys. Peace out.